Hello folks, so here we are, continuing our playthrough and academic analysis of Deus Ex Human Revolution. Um, you know, uh, there's a reason I stopped here before, and mainly it was because I wanted to decide what I was going to do with this playthrough as far as augmentations. You know, we have that one praxis kit, so we have one praxis point. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go ahead and go into the hacking. I'm going to grab the turret domination so we can go ahead and nail that turret. We'll shut it down actually. Here's the description of it. Experienced MHD 9095 users will be able to co-opt automatic weapon turrets and turn them against friendly forces, or shut them down completely. Well, friendly to the turret, I suppose. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pop these up. I'm not going to read through them all. You guys can go ahead and pause it if you want to read them. I've already read them before. So, this is for the hacking, of course. But you can look at the whole tree if you want to. We might, excuse me, might take a little more look at that earlier or later. But right now, I just want to go ahead and do this. And then I'll go ahead and shut that turret down. And the reason why is, well, for one thing, it'll be obviously it'll be useful later on anyhow, you know. I don't think there's any question about that, you know. But the other reason why is because out here, you may not have noticed this, but just to show you, there's a mine on the wall. Which I always thought was kind of funny, because actually if you get that far down the hall with that turret at the other end, ha! Fat chance, you know? I mean, it's not an explosive mine though, it's a concussion mine. Just like our concussion grenade, so it's like a flash bomb. See? And I can go ahead and grab it. That's how you can deactivate it. If you try to sneak up on it, at least when I've tried it before, no. Yeah, it's like as soon as you get close to it, it blows up. Putting the box in front of it, though, sort of makes it, you know, obviously it can't detect you. So that is helpful. Another thing you could do with these turrets, if you take the strength augmentation, so you can move heavier things around, you can go ahead and actually just pick up the turret. Money. But we can't do that right now, so because we didn't take that augmentation. I just figured that being able to take the turrets over is going to wind up being more useful in the long run. But I guess we'll see. Oh, if you see here, this is really interesting actually. This is where we wanted to go. This is actually deceptive. They don't really have this drawn right, because as soon as we go in there, which we'll do in a second here, but the hacker's in there trying to get the Typhoon. As we see, you know. Should have been able to see him through the windows, you know.
Step away from the console. Now! Help me! Son of a bitch! Pritchard, you still there?
Where else would I be?
Patch me to Seraph, now.
Adam, it's David. You got the Typhoon?
Yeah, but you were right about there being something more behind this. Because I've also got a dead purist in here with some pretty interesting cerebral implants.
Don't touch him. We'll need an expert to recover his neural hub, in case it's booby-trapped.
Copy that. What about Sanders?
SWAT's pressure me to let them off the leash. Find them before they do, and deal with them.
So as you see here, our mission has been updated. In addition to finding Zeke Sanders, the leader of the Purists, we're also supposed to rescue Josie Thorpe. Remember, Greg Thorpe asked us to rescue her, or to find her, because you know, she's his wife. She's also the plant manager. Now, one of the things I want to point out about this, you know, I'm being explicit here, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. But this guy, you know, when he says "help me" and then he shoots himself in the head, and you can even kind of see it there as he laid there, you know, dying. If you remember the earlier email, and I'm not going to pop it open, but there was an earlier email with respect to the security turret, or the security camera in the hall outside, that said, nice, well, I'll go ahead and pop it up real quick. So here you go. It's this one right here, which was, you know, for the turret and camera just outside that security station. You know, this thing from Windmill, it says, nice going so far, proxy. Hardly had to lift a finger to help, surprisingly. I read this off before, remember. Well, proxy. In other words, you know, this guy, what evidently, and this is just my guess, okay, but it seems pretty obvious. This guy was actually being controlled remotely, like a drone, you know, by somebody else. And that's, you know, when you finally catch up to him, in order to prevent him from being caught by you, whoever was controlling him actually had him go ahead and kill himself. And if you think about it, the whole question about human augmentations, you know, yeah, that could be sort of one of the issues related to them, because if you have augmentations of some kind, you know, what's to stop somebody else from controlling you, or the rest of you, anyway, you know, through your augmentation, you know, at least certain augmentations, certain things like that. You could certainly see it happening. Whoopsie. Must be this door. Alright. Thought it was the other door. It's one of the problems with the cutscenes in this game too, by the way, and they do this in combat situations too, it's not just here. But they'll actually, like, you know, put you in a position that you wouldn't expect to be in after a cutscene. And if you were controlling things, you probably wouldn't choose to go there. They're pretty good at that, you know, from what I've read, even about later on in the game. Even boss fights and stuff. Yeah, there's, as most people probably know by now, yeah, there's a few boss fights in the game that most people really hate because they really don't fit in with the rest of the game. And because the only way to get through them is to do combat, no matter what kind of character you've developed Adam to be. Sort of defeats the whole point of choice. So, anyway, we're going into, yeah, I mean, if you're wondering what's going on down here, this is the cops, you know, have kind of been set loose by Seraph. Isn't that fun? Okay. Alright, so we'll save it here. Maybe I should save it up here. That's all overwrite that, yeah, right here. Okay, so my energy is back. That's good. Okay, so
Technology firm has been attacked. The first time, 6 months ago, even controversial hearings set to scrutinize the company's research. With those hearings on hold, many are now wondering if something else may be going on.
yes, we know, Eliza. Heard it all before. There's a new ebook. So, Global Politics Review, 2026 edition, Chapter 3, The State of the American Disunion. After the 2015 oil crash, the United States found itself an embattled nation from within and without. Struggling against the rising economic power of China, internal pressures have grown. Dissent against draconian federal regulations, widening rich-poor divisions, extremism, and widespread discontent are weakening a nation that was once a great superpower. Radical choices by the government, suspension of posse comitatus, increased powers for FEMA and the NSA, the opening of oil reserves, have served to bring order, but it may be too late to regain stability. Many states, Texas, Utah, California, are considering secession, while cities like Seattle, Dallas, and Chicago have become fortress states in an attempt to maintain normalcy in a dangerous environment. America struggles to hold itself together against the building pressures of balkanization, but it is a fragmenting nation on a downward spiral. So, things are not good here. And, you know, one of the points to all of that is that a lot of people, I think particularly in America, or particularly in any country that is dominant in the world or doing very well anyway, they tend to forget the lessons of history. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that if you look at the Roman Empire or other nations, the British Empire, you know, anytime throughout history where, you know, a country has been doing very well and stuff like that, things don't generally tend to last forever. You know, as other things change, even really strong, really powerful countries or organizations have been known to collapse for one reason or another. So, anyway, it's something to keep in mind. There's actually academic courses comparing America to the Roman Empire. So here's a limb sign. You know, David mentioned David Seraph mentioned the limb clinics. That limb is an acronym for Liberty and Mind and Body International. So, and you like how these are